And if you were to give one piece of advice to maybe a couple that they want to do business together, maybe in the same industry as you, or it could be any other industry, what would you tell them?
I would say just do it. I don't know why so many people think that running a business or building a business together as a couple is so hard. For us, it's just been natural. Actually, I think it's been the key of our success.
Sure.
When someone is not at their peak, it's the other one to be there to support. So I think we're much stronger together. So don't be too scared and thinking that this is going to be hard and this is going to bring frustration. For sure, it's going to bring some challenges like every single couple, but it's just part of life. And if you're really passionate about it and both super passionate about what you're doing, this is going to go very well, and you're definitely going to be much stronger together.
Well, welcome, Nicolas, to the Montreal Entrepreneur Podcast. It's a pleasure to have you and Elodie. I'm sure we're going to have a great discussion about Mateina.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
You're welcome. To begin with, please share with us the story behind Mateina.
Well,
long story short.
That's a very, very long story. So we'll try to make it like as short as possible for the sake of the interview. But essentially, we always say that mainly Mateina is a passion that turned into a business. And actually, that passion was born from a love for languages. I've always loved languages, and that's a skill that I've always wanted to have, to be able to speak multiple languages. I think it's something so useful when you travel, and especially now in business as well. Yeah. So I've been with Elo. We're a couple. She's my partner in life. We've been together for over 10 years now.
Nice.
And a long time ago, we were both working in totally different fields. I was studying in the land surveying, geomatics, mathematics, something super boring, far from...
Super different.
Yeah, super different from what we're doing today. Mm-hmm. But one day I said, okay, I want to go, it's time for me to level up my Spanish. I'm already comfortable speaking it, so I want to bring it to the next level. So I told Elodie, I'm leaving for summer. I'm going to spend a couple months in South America.
You're not invited.
Oh, wow. A couple of months.
Yeah. So I'm leaving in South America. I don't know where exactly, but I'd love to go teach ski in Argentina or Chile.
We were dreaming about traveling the world together at this time of our relationship. So I accept to let him go without me. Okay. But we made the deal that we will meet somewhere in the world after 2 months.
Yeah, so that was part of the deal. So start by yourself and we meet. So I updated my resume. I put that I was an experienced ski coach because I think in South America, the level is much lower definitely than Canada, for example. Yeah. So I said, okay, I'm gonna be fine. But if I want to find a job as a ski instructor, I need some background because I'm a good skier, but I'm not an expert or a coach. So I sent my resume to all resorts in South America. Okay. Got a few answers, but I got a job at one of the smallest ski resorts, possibly. It's a small volcano called Volcan Antuco in southern Chile. It was actually the perfect place because this is super rural, so nobody speaks English or French or anything like that. It's pure Spanish. Yeah. So it was a good setup for me. So it was June, beginning of the summer here. I leave super shocked when I got there, out of my comfort zone. I land. Yeah. This is big, the Andes, full of snow, cold winter. So definitely a difficult couple first days. I remember I called Elo and I was not sure anymore.
He was freaking out.
This is gonna work.
I want to go back.
This is not the Spanish that I got in my classes at all. Because
in Duolingo.
Yeah, in Duolingo, I've done a bunch of Duolingo. I was this is not the same thing. I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to teach ski classes, but
Because it's more technical, right? Like you're teaching ski. Or
It's technical. Kind of. And I probably picked the worst spot in South America because Chile, they speak a strong slang.
As us in French, if we compare with France. So it's similar.
I have to compare it, like if you take Saguenay, Chicoutimi, like this part of Quebec where they speak another kind of Quebecois that we speak. Totally this is the same thing. So definitely out of my comfort zone at the beginning. But on the first days over there, I was working with some Argentines on the resort as well. And I got introduced to yerba mate. Somebody shared a first gourd, traditional way of drinking hot yerba mate. And definitely, like at the beginning, I was like, this is so different from what I've like. Looks super weird, tastes super weird. But after having a couple gourds back to back, a gourd is like drinking a full infusion and then you start over again after. After drinking a few of them, I was like, okay, I feel like super awake, full of mental clarity. I feel sharp, but I'm not like jittery or kind of
like coffee.
Anxious as you get with coffee. So definitely from the first tries, I was like, okay, this is
impressed by the effects.
Yeah, the effects are amazing. This is something truly different. Elo was the first person that I kind of introduced mate to. I was like, hey, look at this new drink that I started in Argentina.
And I was just diagnosed with ADHD at this moment of my life. And this is the main reason why I was impressed by the plant. It's because of the mental clarity and concentration that gives you, oh my God, a lot. Wow. I just get rid of my medication like few months after I started to drink yerba mate. So it's my personal experience.
Yes, of course.
It's not an advice, but
and
it's amazing.
And it felt so special since the first time to share it with someone else. Like when did you get it? When do you have a chance these days to like introduce something totally new that no one has ever tried? Like, hey, this is like a new drink, new way of preparing it, new effects, like something completely unknown, and seeing a reaction and kind of enthusiasm regard that. So I kind of became hooked on sharing that with people. So when we came back to Canada a couple months after, I went back to South America for another few weeks, and then we all came back to Canada a couple months after. I brought a couple kilos in my backpack.
They didn't stop you at custom.
I got through customs, no problem. They asked some questions, definitely, but
I let you pass.
It got through. And as soon as I landed back in Canada, I was kind of super, super excited to go share it with my friends, with my family, with all my community. I was like,
try this.
I was
Stop drinking coffee.
I was already a matero, that we call, like a mate enthusiast that kind of likes to share it with everyone. So it kind of became our thing to introduce mate to people.
Just naturally. Because we were
just passionate, hooked on it. And it was super hard to find. I think it's still relatively hard to find these days.
Sure.
But especially the leaves, the plant.
That real good quality yerba mate was super hard to find back then. So my friends that were recently introduced to it were like, where can I get it? So I made my little research, starting to reach out to different suppliers. And I got connected with a guy, an Argentine in Ontario, that imported some containers from Argentina for the Latino grocery stores in all over Canada. And this guy, I made those trips and
was not totally legit.
No, like it was like a weird operation
in his backyard.
Yeah, some containers in a backyard, like super sketchy.
I thought it was like the containers, like the shipping container to okay. That's why he was growing them in the container.
No.
Okay.
He imported it, but it was stored like outdoor.
Outside. It was in his backyard.
Yeah, it was not like a super like reliable source. But we started to make those trips to he was in Oshawa, Ontario. So we used to go there, buy 200, 300, 400 kilos at a time and bring it back and
receive one of the best advice that we have.
Yeah, but that was after the...
No, someone told us like you want to grow or make education around this plant, it's going to take a while or a lot of energy. So you should do it under your own brand. So we started to think about what it could be, like the name of the brand, the branding, stop selling like Argentinian mate.
Okay.
Brand from there.
Yeah, because while doing those big trips, we were coming back and we kind of became the unofficial mate dealers of
we like
our
to
community here. People
El patron.
So and this came to the point where we started an e-commerce selling it. So we were like instead of there's like we could sell it to more people, it's so hard to find, so let's set up an e-commerce. At the same time, I was kind of learning on drop shipping. I took an interest at Shopify and building a store, design, marketing. So I was like, I want to build an e-commerce. I'm dealing mate on the side unofficially. So why not merge these two together and build an e-commerce selling mate? So at the beginning, we started selling the Argentine brands.
Without any precise goal at the moment.
No,
you're just going along with the flow.
For fun.
And selling those, like most of the, like yerba mate in Argentina is like a commodity. It's like flour. So there's no like strong marketing around it. It's like a big flour bag and like paper bag and
a commodity.
Like super simple. So this is when someone gave us the advice, like a good friend of mine was like, hey guys, and actually we started to see it ourselves. Like we saw like an interest, we saw that people were kind of super aligned and kind of interested in the benefit and like curious about it. And we were like, if we're gonna do this, it's gonna take a while, it's gonna take a lot of education, like this is gonna be a huge project. So might as well do it under our own brand. That way we can create new flavors. We can do whatever we want with the product. We don't have to just sell it as it is. And we can as well improve on quality, because the brands that we were getting were mostly non-organic. It was unflavored. So unflavored mate is definitely for the purists. So
and I think we're lucky about the timing, just because vegan was trending, was on trend.
What time period are we talking about here? Like how long ago was that?
2017.
2017? Okay.
Yeah, 18. Between 17 and 19.
Yeah.
So it helps as well.
So when we got this idea of kind of creating our own brand, this is when we decided, okay, let's go back to South America. Let's go together at this time. So we land in Chile. The plan was to go in Buenos Aires, Argentina, where mate grows, northern of Buenos Aires in Misiones, Corrientes. These are the two main regions in Argentina. And we decide, okay, on this trip, let's just start with a little ski week in Chile first. Just take advantage of being there. And third day of ski, Elo broke her knee.
A week after, the day before, we were supposed to cross
to Argentina.
So then you were able to find somebody, like a supplier, to help you?
We were supposed to visit Patagonia before. And then after, at the end of the trip, go find a supplier where the mate grows.
And what were some of the biggest challenge that you encountered to build the supply chain from Argentina? And how did you overcome it?
So definitely finding this source in the first place was super challenging. So when Elo broke her knee, she had to do like a quick surgery. So she had to fly back to Canada.
So we made this deal that Nick will go focus on finding a supplier, no, not visiting what we were supposed to.
Just go straight at the source and find the supplier.
It takes you a while to have response.
I sent probably like a bunch of emails to all the different farmers in Argentina, in that region, kind of reaching out, seeing an interest, and didn't get a single reply. Wow. I don't know if these people like check their emails, but I didn't get any
Did
reply.
You write them in English or what?
So literally just got there to the Posadas, the big city in Misiones, the province where mate grows in Argentina. I went straight to the National Institute of Yerba Mate, because that's a thing over there. I dropped there, I met this guy, Alejandro, and he introduced me to a bunch of different farmers. So I spent 2-3 weeks over there. I met with several families, learned a lot about the cultivation process. But then just a few days before leaving, with a bunch of contacts, I met this family that we still work with today, with whom we've established a very strong partnership. This family cultivated organic, air-dried, fair trade, one of the best tasting yerba mate out there. They believed in the project, and they literally like really loved what they saw, like with the initial branding. So they said, hey, we're going to support you. We're shipping you the first pallets, and you're going to pay us back when you sold them.
So everything happened for a reason.
Yeah.
It took you time to find them.
Yeah, it took a very long time, and I was super, super lucky to actually find them. Actually had to go there and do it and kind of make some noise. I even showed up in the newspaper, when this guy from the Institute learned about my story, was like, we're going to put you in the newspaper, a Canadian that wants to import yerba mate.
Yeah.
So they put me in the newspaper of the city. Like, I went to rent a car, and like literally the guy at the counter was like,
yes,
I know you right there. So we worked really hard to find this source, but once it was set, like we had a very good connection with them, and we've established like this strong bond and partnership. And I think this is what kind of still differentiates Mateina today, like to have a single source, high quality yerba mate. So this is when really Mateina, like the brand that it is today, was born. Got back to Canada with a lot of work to do on packaging, kind of figuring everything out. We also wanted to start to do some retail at this point in the natural grocery stores. So we got to work. We made the first kind of iteration of the Mateina loose leaf, so the loose tea.
Okay.
And we started selling it online in some grocery stores, doing a lot of demos, doing a lot of sports events.
How did that go? Like the response from people that didn't know?
It was amazing.
It was amazing, but it was super niche. Definitely like such a small niche. And I think that if we would still sell exclusively loose leaf mate today, we would still have a super small business, because that's a small niche. And this is what gave us the idea of growing the brand even further while doing some sports event in the summer. I said, okay, we can sample hot tea, so we can start making some cold brew. So I got a small brewing equipment, and I started to cold brew some batches of mate, making my recipes with lemon juice, with some different sweeteners, and kind of
at home testing.
R&D. At home in the garage. And the response for this cold version was amazing. Incredible. And people were kind of asking, how can I buy the tea and make this cold brew version? Like, it tastes a lot better. I prefer this. So we were like, okay, we need a version in a can. This is the opportunity to make this business a lot more accessible to a much larger amount of people. So got to work again, definitely starting to make some ready to drinks in a can. It's a much bigger challenge than selling just the regular dry tea. So it took almost a full year of R&D, of kind of, okay, how do we make this? Where do we get cans? How is it possible? I also had like strong points that I wanted to respect. I wanted the drink to be like between 5 to 8 grams of sugar maximum. I want it to be non-carbonated. I want it to be high in caffeine from yerba mate exclusively. So these were all...
And how do you scale a recipe in big volume? Like,
I know.
It's different.
But now I'm curious on how Dr. Huberman got into the picture. Like, when did he get into it, like to become an investor for Mateina?
So we finally launched the ready to drink a little later at the end of 2019.
2019, okay.
And COVID hit just after the launch, so we got super lucky. The garage, actually, that was our warehouse back then, was filled with pallets with cans. So we were like good, and we got a big spike in sale.
Because everybody's home.
So COVID was very good for e-commerce businesses.
And the can as well, the ready to drink.
So we took that opportunity. We grew the business from there, and we
got
essentially
our listing.
We got our first listings in Sobeys.
It started to become a real business at this time.
So 2019. During COVID.
Mostly 2020, 2021. a lot of work, a lot of demos.
And who's guiding you on which store to go to, and how do you get your products on those shelves?
Mostly ourselves.
Okay.
We got some friends, some entrepreneur friends as well that help a lot.
Okay.
Good advices. So we grew the business from there, coast to coast of Canada. We got our first listing at Whole Foods, Sobeys, like I said, Metro, some.
Because that's national now.
Yeah.
Are you still in your garage? Because that's a
At
lot.
this point, my dad kicked us out of the garage.
A few months after COVID happened.
Yeah. As soon as we got a first employee there, I had a friend kind of started to, actually Elo's brother was our first employee, came to help with orders. And my dad, like when he saw that, he was like, okay.
I have no insurance for that.
I'm not insured.
If something happened.
I was okay to support you at the beginning, but now you need to find a warehouse. So we moved
pushed
to our
us
first
to grow.
warehouse. Yeah. It was a
Definitely, because now you
Yeah.
have more expenses and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
You have to have a lease.
Yeah, this is why I say that at this moment it becomes to begin
A real business.
It became a real
yeah.
business,
Yeah, sorry.
and not just a garage project. But I'm coming to your
Dr. Huberman.
to
Yes.
your question.
So we
I
worked very hard,
yeah.
bring the business jusqu'en 2000.
But are you guys working during that time?
No.
Are you full-time in this?
So I was the first to kind of leave my
Quit your
job.
Yeah. You have a subvention for a year, and then COVID happens, and few months after that, I quit my job.
Yeah, because now you see the potential of
Yeah,
Mateina.
exactly. We had
sales.
to make a choice.
I think every business, when the founders leave their job, this is when it becomes like
true.
truly.
It was the best move ever.
It's like you burned the boat. Like,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
We're going back.
Going all in, and I should.
It's a scary move, but the best one to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so much entrepreneurs, I feel, will keep their job for way too long, and they're not fully committed to their projects. So I think leaving it as soon as you can, as soon as it makes sense. Sometimes it would not make sense, but I think this is kind of like you said, you burned the
Scary
boat.
because you need an income. And you don't
Yes.
have any like insurance that you're gonna have one, or you're gonna be able to maintain it. So
we just worked very hard, bootstrapped for another 2 years, growing the business coast to coast of Canada. Big focus on e-commerce. At this time, e-commerce is still 35 to 40% of our revenues. So significant
good.
for a beverage brand. And we start looking for funding because we look forward. We're like, okay, we're targeting these bigger national listings. We'd love to get into Costco one day. But if we want to do this, we'll need some funding.
Yeah.
So we start discussing and presenting the brand to different VCs in Canada. And that was just after kind of the big bubble where money was super easily accessible. Everyone was kind of able to raise money so easily. It was right after when everything got kind of pessimist.
Okay.
So
right timing is important.
Yeah, timing is super important. But we're right after that. Everyone is like, okay, we're not like.
So how many VCs did you have to speak with before you got some
probably pitched
positive
to
response?
around 15, 20 VCs. But these discussions are not like, no one's like committed. Nobody wants to get wet.
More contact than less. Like
So we were still in this research. We kind of have options at this point, but it's a plan B or plan C. Like we're not like super satisfied with any of the options. And one day I just got an email, like a bunch of other emails that I got, but I don't know why, but this one I took time to read it, and it was like, hey guys, I'm from Tiny, we're based in Victoria, Canada, and we're looking at Yerba Mate brands right now, would love to invest. So I connect with them, and they highlight that there's also a podcaster involved in this venture, and I fly to Vancouver, I meet with them, and I realize that this person is Andrew Huberman. So definitely my interest at this point. I've been, and especially not just because of Huberman, I think the people behind Tiny,
they're amazing,
real, genuine people, no BS. They're just straight to the point. Felt like chatting with them from the first conversation was just like chatting with friends. So I really felt like a good connection with them. Unlike a bunch of other potential partners that we were chatting with, where it's a lot more like corporate and kind of.
They're more like visionary because they're used to invest in tech. IT. So
They're tech
they look
people.
at the future instead of
Yeah.
banking people. Sometimes they just look at your number, and the reality of our business is that.
So, but at that time, how were the numbers? I don't know if you're comfortable talking about that.
So
Super good, but
the revenues are very good. The company is
Yeah.
growing at a very rapid pace, but as a lot of CPG companies, especially in the beverage
Yeah.
space,
Yeah.
energy,
We need a-
like functional energy beverage space, this is super competitive. And our vision since day one is to go, like, we're a marketing company, and
Yeah.
we want to create a strong brand that,
I like that.
like, this
You
is
need a
this
lot
is
of
our
That's how you
natural.
see yourself as a marketing company.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
we're
totally.
doing everything in co-packing. So we're a sales and marketing company. So our job is building a strong brand with great products. So we're spending like since day one, we've been spending a lot of money on marketing and the brand image and activations, all of that. So the company is doing well. We see a lot of growth, over 50% every year,
And to-
even more than that often. But we're losing money. We're in a negative
course.
situation.
And because you
to
have to spend,
afford
yeah.
to afford your inventory, it's a war of volume in RTD's market. So you need a lot of money. The MOQ is crazy for the empty cans or the production when you want to find a co-packer. All of the MOQ are crazy. So you
Because
need-
all the packaging is done here, or
Yeah, mostly.
yeah.
Now with the US, we've opened
Another
more
one
different
in
co-packing
Ontario.
facilities,
Okay.
but it's mainly in Montreal.
Yeah.
So yes, the company is losing money at this point, and this is to kind of reinforce what Ella was saying. Tiny kind of sees and looks at the future and not the present or the past as
Yeah.
regular banks. So there's definitely like a great fit. We agree on all the details, and we officially signed this deal of July last summer.
okay.
So we went for a couple meetings in Malibu and met with Andrew and the team, and we kind of brainstormed on the plan. And their vision was to launch a business in the US, obviously. And Andrew's special request was creating a zero sugar flavor.
Is it
The
here?
one that I'm drinking
Yeah,
right
okay.
now, the lemon zero. So we got to work with him. We made a couple sessions of trying different formulas, brainstorming on the ingredients.
Okay.
And that all happened in Malibu last year. And when we kind of agreed on everything, figured out the zero sugar formula, we got to work, because starting a beverage brand in another country that, like the US, felt like starting the business from
Again.
scratch,
Yeah.
doing all the packaging again, figuring out what are the laws with FDA,
FDA
figuring out
compliant.
where is going to be the warehouse, all those details.
Yeah.
And we're still, like, we had a very small team. We still have a very small team
Yeah.
of 12 people. So we couldn't take out like as many employees as necessary to work on the US development. So just the two of us kind of had to handle everything. So
A lot of hours.
Oh my God, yes. Last year at this time, we were about to make our first production, and we spent almost all Christmas time at the facility.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were running our first production there.
People sometimes underestimate
Yeah.
the amount of work it takes
We were
to
there
make something
between
special.
December 26th and December 31st.
Yeah.
So we didn't spend Christmas with our family, actually.
And also like a lot of pressure. So we're kind of preparing for a US launch and announcing this partnership with Huberman at the same time. So we
Okay.
can't cut corners. Like
No.
everything needs to be perfect and kind of on point in
Yeah.
terms of formulas, the e-commerce, like every single
Customer
detail.
experience,
Yeah.
We had
everything.
a lot to think about and kind of prepare. So it was a very stressful time, crush period. But we made it. We launched successfully in January. And from day one or month one of sales, just the US e-commerce by itself
Just in a week.
matched all our Canadian sales.
Wow.
Like
What's the period of time?
like for
In a week.
For
In a
example,
week.
In a
Yeah.
week.
we launched it on January 26th, and the kind of the numbers for January, it was equal the sales in the US in just 4 days with everything in Canada. So e-commerce and retail together.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been always almost 50-50. So we got like a new massive sales channel right at the beginning. So Huberman's audience is obviously like listening very closely on what
so he's promoting as well the
So we've been then doing podcast ad reads, some different collaborations at this time as well. We reached out to Erwan, which is a very famous natural grocery chain in LA. We got listed there right away in May. So big launch, and we got crazy volumes since day one as well. So strong momentum since the launch in the US.
Yeah. And how did you guys handle all of that pressure?
You get used to it.
You get used to it, but I think just being on top of your physical form has been super helpful.
True,
Sleeping very well. We got a sauna and a cold plunge. That is
being
my secret.
productive of your energy as well.
Sleeping well.
But knowing all the challenges that you had to face, knowing all of this now, had you known back then, do you think that you would have gotten into this venture?
Maybe. We're a little bit crazy, both of us.
Yeah,
we have the same intensity.
But we're also like, and definitely at the beginning we were super naive, and I think this is super important, not to look too far, just look at the next step that's coming and kind of focusing on that, not looking too far ahead.
Uninformed optimism.
Yeah, exactly.
But during the valley of despair, I'm sure there's a point like you're like, whoa, I didn't expect all of that.
Of course.
How did you push through and not giving up?
Actually, if I'm being like super transparent, there's never been like a single moment where I was like, I want to give up. Like, this is too hard. Like, I love Yerba Mate so much. I love Mateina. I love everything that we've created around it, the community, the people. Like, I think being together as well as a couple, we're much stronger to navigate the ups and downs.
And it's almost like having a child. So you have this instinct to take care of it like 24/7. Yeah. So it's just natural. You tu te poses pas trop de questions.
Yeah.
It's after then I think you realize how much work it was, but at the moment you don't focus on that. You just do it because this thing depends on of you. So
yeah. There's definitely some downtimes when like nothing significant happens, and when I'm saying that, like, it's 2-3 months. But since day one of this business, every single year, there's so many things that happen. There's so much product launches, partnership, new listings, so many things happening. So it's just one after the other. So we don't have time to get bored or like to think about every single details too much. It's just like, okay, we're up to the next thing, and every single launch or announcement that we do, it's super rewarding to get like the people's feedback. So that's helpful.
Definitely, I like that. And if you were to give one piece of advice to maybe a couple that they want to do business together, maybe in the same industry as you, or it could be any other industry, what would you tell them?
I would say just do it. I don't know why so many people think that running a business or building a business together as a couple is so hard. For us, it's just been natural. Actually, I think it's been the key of our success.
Sure.
When someone is not at their peak, it's the other one to be there to support. So I think we're much stronger together. So don't be too scared and thinking that this is going to be hard and this is going to bring frustration. For sure, it's going to bring some challenges like every single couple, but it's just part of life. And if you're really passionate about it and both super passionate about what you're doing, this is going to go very well, and you're definitely going to be much stronger together.
I like that.
Je vais le dire en français, mais je pense de s'accepter l'un l'autre pas être trop difficile l'un envers l'autre. Notre communication n'a pas toujours été parfaite, mais on n'a jamais été rancuniers, tu sais. Laisser à l'autre le moment de vivre ses émotions ou de le prendre comme ça vient sur le moment. On s'améliorera après, mais pas d'être rancunier sur le coup. Je pense que l'important, c'est de rien garder en dedans, tu sais. Nous, on a toujours évacué, mais on n'a jamais été rancuniers. On se parlait pas toujours bien au début. Il y avait beaucoup de tension, mais ça nous a appris à communiquer. Ça a été un plus pour notre couple. Fait qu'aujourd'hui, on communique vraiment mieux, puis ça a des bénéfices même sur notre vie privée, tu sais. Fait que
communication is very important.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because not only you have to communicate of, things that in the business, but now as a couple as well. I don't know, at midnight, did you do this? Did you do that?
Yeah.
Like no playing the blame game and things like that, or try to find a way to fix it.
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful adventure.
Yeah.
You're
opinion. Definitely talking business very, very often. You have to create some times actually.
Yeah.
Like set this time aside where you don't work, and we've actually started to do that pretty recently.
But I think it's
like
the challenge for every couple that have been together for 10 years. So, it's just a reality. Yeah.
But now every Friday when the sun sets, we stop to work, we stop talking about business. It's time to be grateful and kind of just enjoy until the Saturday night, and then the Sunday start over again.
Yeah.
So you take one day off, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to set some boundaries, and I fully understand how you feel.
The Sunday is actually precious these days, because having a full day without calls, emails, or meetings, it's kind of the day where most things get done.
Yeah.
So we use that day to...
But it doesn't happen in the first year. You need to give you some time to learn. It's a work in progress. You learn a bunch of things every year. You're going to push your limits. Like sometimes you're going to tu vas les pousser un peu trop loin, and then you're going to reassess and find your balance, but it's almost impossible to find the perfect balance. So
definitely.
You need to just accept sometimes thing as there is.
And what do you love about building this brand, Mateina, in Montreal?
I think just, and that is applicable, I think, regardless of where you are geographically, but building something from scratch is the thing that excites me the most. Like starting from absolutely nothing and kind of ending up with a branding, with a product, and that kind of still evolves today. But that challenge of creating something new is so exciting to me. It's what drives like the business forward and towards like innovation and kind of making things happen. And I think what I figured as well in the early days, what I like the most about entrepreneurship is you're the only one responsible for what will happen to your business.
No.
So if you're not taking over and kind of, making things happen, nothing's going to happen at all. Like it's not like a school project, or there's no one kind of giving you the direction or the deadline. It's just by yourself. And I don't know why exactly, but that's what drives me the most. Like I've always had like kind of a hard time in school with the project, with the deadlines, with all of that. Never been that motivated, but I don't know why with my with our own project, I'm like super focused. And
so passion is important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's definitely coming
of
from
course.
what you're passionate about.
Yeah. And what do you like about the city of Montreal? Could be both of you. Yeah.
I think Montreal is a very interesting city in terms of all the different cultures that you get. The fact that we're here,
I love it.
The fact that we're here making a podcast in English,
and I can speak in French, or this is
so the cultural aspect of it is super interesting. Definitely in terms of business, this is a perfect place, I think, to start a business, because it's not overcrowded. It's not like too crazy as some other big US cities, but at the same time you have access to a lot of very interesting people and resources, and I think overall it's just a great hub to get started and kind of grow a business. And there's also like a level of openness. I'm not sure that if we would have started this business in like Winnipeg, for example, it could have worked, because especially for a product like Yerba Mate that's better for you, new, like very low in sugar, you need a certain level of openness and people kind of loving natural, healthy products, and Montreal has that, as you said. So
nice. Elodie, do you want to add something about Montreal, or we're good?
No, I wanted to say the same thing as about the culture. I love the fact that you can speak in French. someone speak to you in French, respond in English, and we can understand each other. And everyone has a different story. A lot of people comes from different country or places, and I think it's wonderful. I grew up in Saguenay, so I start to discover that very late in my life. So this is something that make me fell in love with Montreal when I arrived here. So
that's nice.
Yeah, love it.
Well, it was nice to have you on the Montreal Entrepreneur Podcast.
Thank
you both
you.
have a beautiful story.
Thank you so much.
And your story highlights how it's important to choose the right partner to go in business with, because otherwise I don't think this could have worked if you have a bad partner in a business. And the passion that you put in in the brand. And I like how you say that you guys are a marketing company.
Yeah.
A lot of people wouldn't even think about that. They would think, it's Mateina, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Marketing is very important for your industry, because without the branding, when you walk down the aisle, there's so many other options, right?
Yeah.
They have to feel a connection with the brand that you have. So it was really nice that you shared your story, and I took a lot of good advice and points for me personally as well. Until next time.
Thank you so much.